Hi and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn, and today we have another show that is comprised of beers sent to me. I always appreciate when you guys send me beer. I just had one of those a few episodes back when we had the Tired Hands, but this is one that I've been meaning to get to, and I apologize to the person who sent these beers for not getting to it sooner, but I really wanted to kind of take the time to go through this. It was just really nice. I got these beers from Richard in Canada. I believe he comes from the Toronto area, and he sent me a really nice note. I just received the box one day after talking to him a couple times and said, you know, you don't have a lot of beers from Canada on your show. I would like to change that. I'm going to try to get some stuff that are my favorites, send them to you. That's exactly what he did, and I'm really excited because of these 6, I think I've only had one before. He also sent me a really nice little write-up of each one. So I did really no background on any of them. I'm just going to see what Richard says, kind of read his notes, and then taste through them. We've got, like I said, 6. I'm just going to kind of go randomly in this order because that's the way they're set out. I'll start with the 3 bottles, and I'll move on to the 3 cans. Why not? It's as good a way as any. And I want to start with this one because I'm really excited to try this Bellwoods Brewery. I think the packaging is really cool, and it's called Roman Candle IPA, 6.8 ABV, bottled about 2 months ago. Should be nice and fresh. It's from Toronto, and what Richard says about this beer is the Bellwood Roman Candle IPA. He said that these guys burst onto the scene in Toronto less than 2 years ago and are doing some really great things, including having a local hop farm project. This is their version of a West Coast IPA, so I'm going to guess it's like a drier, citrusy, and piney IPA. He also said they have an awesome website, so if you guys are interested in checking out some of the Bellwoods Brewery stuff, go check out their website for sure. Really cool cap, which I will keep. I'm a nerd. And let's give it a pour. Comes in a 22-ounce bottle. I obviously have no pricing information for any of this stuff. Comes in really light yellow, kind of a dark straw or a gold color. A little bit hazy, not entirely clear, but still, you know, nice looking beer. A little bit of head to it. I'll give it a swirl and stick my nose in there. Interesting. Man, this definitely has a cheesy note to it. So sometimes you get a cheesy note from hops if the hops have been sitting around for a bit. Some of that garlicky and oniony note. I wonder if they have some Summit. I'm guessing it's from their local hop, so there's probably some terroir to this, to these hops, these hop varietals. You know, I mean, even the same hop grown in different places tastes very different. You know, Saaz grown in the Czech Republic tastes completely different from Saaz grown in the U.S. I had the Cascade Ninja open the other day from Pipeworks, and it really did not taste like West Coast Cascade at all to me, because the hops are grown in Michigan. So like kind of a musty, earthy, dirty garlic. Like you kind of pulled some onion grass and like smelled that little bulb with the dirt still kind of clinging to it. Oh yeah. It's interesting. It's got a really like crackery malt character to it. That big like sweet onion thing going on with some garlic notes to it, very pronounced, and then an earthiness, but a fruitiness as well, almost like a caramelized onion. Yeah, I like it. It's different. It's unusual. I dig it. Off to a good start, some bracing bitterness as well, but I like how the beer is constantly transitioning. So I got on my palate, I got the aroma first, those kind of garlicky, earthy notes. Then it's going to transition to some sweet flavors. Not quite tropical, but along those citrusy, like ripe fruit lines. Then it kind of went to that crackery bread thing, and then finally a nice clean bitterness, and that kind of garlicky note just slowly kind of enveloped my mouth again, and that's kind of what I'm left with. So really nice beer. I'm gonna go 92 for the Bellwoods Brewery Roman Candle IPA. Good start. All right, next is Cameron's RPA. This is a Rye Pale Ale coming in at 6.5%. He said they have an Auburn Ale from these guys that is one of his favorites, that this came out last year and has become a regular for him. It's very good, great spice. He says it's based in a GTA suburb called Oakville, I guess Greater Toronto area. Maybe that's what GTA stands for. I always think of the video game Grand Theft Auto, so maybe this is located right outside Liberty City. Never know. Okay, cool. This is a twist off that I popped off. So Rye Pale. Rye is very, very hot right now, especially the paler ryes. It used to be that pretty much anytime you saw a rye, there would be a red associated to it. So it would be a red rye, from Founders or from Two Brothers or from Bear Republic. But now you're trying to see more pale ryes. Bell is just pulling out the Smitten. There's the Rye of the Tiger from Great Lakes, Rye the Tiger from Three Floyds, and now you've got this one, which isn't quite a red, more of like an auburn color. Massive spicy rye character to it. I have said in the past that I'm deficient at picking up rye, but not here. It is big and spicy and rich, and there's a caramel undertone from the malt, so there is quite a bit of malt here. Very soft mouthfeel. There's a bit of sugar in here, which is nice. Counteracts the rye, which is very spicy and peppery. Almost tastes like a wild rice component to it. Leaves with a very nice kind of, again, wild rice. That's what I'm getting a lot here. A good amount of bitterness to kind of stand up to that peppery rye note to it. And that malt leaves it drinkable as well. A really good amount of kind of caramel toffee. And I like the sweetness too. It just kind of sits on your tongue and just kind of sets down there and makes sure that it's not overwhelmed by the rye, which is very prominent. And as I'm talking, the bitterness continues to build slowly but surely. Nice beer. I'm gonna give this guy an 89. It's well made. Not my personal favorite, so that's why I might be boosting it up a little bit. Not my personal favorite style, but I'm a fan. People are just like blowing my stuff up right now. Very cool. All right, I think we're 2 for 2 so far, so good to you, Richard. So what do we have next? This is the Lug Tread. Bose Tractor Lug. 5-6 years ago they opened halfway between Ottawa and Montreal. They are really doing things differently, beers and packaging. This is one of the regular offerings at Kolsch. So I took this out of order. I like their cap. It says "Oh yeah" on top of it. Really high fill. Man, the fill is like up to here. So, Lug Tread Lagered Ale. There you go, Kolsch. 5.2%. Bose All Natural Lug Tread. Cool. Give it a dump here. So what I'm looking for is a nice light color. Oh yeah, and that's what we got. I'm gonna give it a rinse since it's a delicate style. And I want it to be clear. That's the thing about Kolsch, is you want them to be clear, stylistically speaking. Okay, we're pretty darn clear here. I wouldn't say it's crystal clear, but good clarity. Good clarity, not absolutely spotless clarity, but I'll take it. Very light straw color, tiny bit of haze, good white head here, attractive looking beer, good for the summertime. Dipping my nose in here, I'm getting a little bit of a corny note to it. Could have been the use of a lot of a Pils malt, which can put off some DMS, which is like a cooked corn note that I pick up. There's also a good amount of fruit here too. Not quite banana, but I don't know, maybe a little bit of unclean fermentation. A bready note. I'm getting some like rose water too. Okay, it's nice though. On the mouth, it's much more honeyed. A nice kind of honeysuckle floral note to it. I'm getting some of that weird rose water note to it, but the underlying beer is lovely. I think this one might have just had a little bit of fermentation problems, but I think I see where they're going, and the crisp, bready character to it is awesome. If they could clean up this beer just a hint, make it a little bit more lager-like. Maybe it's just a bad bottle, especially if they're kind of a small brewery. I like it. I like that kind of honeyed note to it. I'm going to give this guy an 82, just because I think there are some brew house defects going on here. But this has 90-point potential, and in fact, this might be a bad batch, might be a bad bottle. This is a beer that I would say, a lot of times when I give something an 82, I say, well, I'm kind of done with it. This is one where I'd say 82. But I would actively try to have this beer again. And Richard, I am not just blowing smoke. I'm not saying this because you sent this. This is actually how I feel about these 3 beers, I promise you. It's funny. I'm almost the most excited to try this one again, even though it was had some flaws in it. So, the next is the Crazy Canuck. I lost my cap saver right at the right time. Crazy Canuck from Great Lakes, based in Etobicoke. I guess I could just look. No, this is Toronto. This is not Cleveland, so it's a different Great Lakes on the west side of Toronto. Okay. Older craft players. They've got some regulars like Project X, and this is a special monthly offering in the can. It's called Crazy Canuck. It's a pale ale. It says it's won a gold medal, but they don't say where. So it's kind of like a Pabst Blue Ribbon type thing. Yeah, it won Blue Ribbon, but what the hell is a Blue Ribbon and when did it win it? Don't really ask me that, because I will really answer that question. Yes, Pabst really did win a Blue Ribbon. Kind of shadily though. Okay, so pale ale. Looks pale, a little bit of an orange tint to it, kind of a golden amber, kind of burnt caramel look to it. Nice fluffy head. It's got the caramel malt thing going, maybe a little bit of crystal malt to kind of give it that nice biscuity honeyed note. It is a pale. It's not the American, that new wave of where a pale is basically last year or 5 years ago double IPA minus the bittering hops, all late edition hops. It's not that style pale. It's more of the Sierra Nevada. This is a pale ale. So there is a grapefruit fruit nose to it. I wouldn't be surprised if it is kind of like a Cascade forward beer. Reminds me a lot of Sierra Nevada, which is a good thing. Really nice orange character to it. A little bit of grapefruit and that biscuit undertone. Yeah, nice and drinkable. 5.2%, pretty much right where I'd want it to be. It's really nice on the front. Kind of drops right off my palate. It has almost no finish, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, it just takes a dive, and it's got a weird little finish to it. I love how it starts with kind of that malt body with just enough, bitterness to really kind of get your attention and want you to kind of bite into some food. Something you definitely want to have in a tall boy can here. It's nice. I'll go 86 with this guy. Just kind of drops off a cliff, but still solid beer. Something I would certainly at a bar get a pint of, and maybe one of those ones where like, you know what? I kind of enjoy this beer the more I kind of wrapped my head around it. The one thing that's not fair about these tastings is I take 1-2 sips, come up with a snap judgment, and move on. Pardon me. Tasting at a bar isn't quite the same. You know, give yourself time. To kind of adjust to the beer, see how the beer changes, see how your mood about the beer changes. Some of my favorite beers have been ones that the first couple of sips I haven't really liked. So remember that. Take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, and these are just little tasting beers. You know, other beers that, you know, in a small sip, pop. Like if you're at a festival where there's 100 beers and your favorite one was the coconut chili curry porter. You know, that's great in a small sip when you're also surrounded by huge beers everywhere. But do you want a pint of it? Do you want a glass of it? Do you want even a snifter of it? You know, there's different beers for different occasions. So, you know, maybe this is certainly more of a pint beer, you know, one where you're going to get a couple of them, especially at 5.2. This is the Cremor Springs Traditional Pilsner. They're about 90 minutes north of Toronto. And this is one that I have heard about before. I think this is a pretty generally available craft lager in Canada. You know, Molson and Labatt are the big players out there. Some of you have probably also had the Unibrew stuff. And it's nice to see some guys actually going the craft lager route. I like that. Nice, clean profile to it. It smells like, you know, a Pils is what they're saying. To me, it smells a little bit more like a Helles, a little bit more weighted towards the malt. A clean, slightly honeyed note to it. Let's see. I don't know how old this is. It smells nice though. Not a lot of really finishing hops that I can detect right now. In the aroma at least. Yeah, I would consider this to be a Helles lager. Nothing wrong with that. It's a good one. This is certainly one that you want to just kind of knock down. Certainly a solid player. I would want a little bit more hop character to it, but that's me. Then again, because it's called a Pilsner. Pilsner, I feel, should have some hoppy bitterness to it and some hop character. A Hell can be more about a nice clean malt profile, which is what this guy is. Taking that into consideration, I think it's really nice. I'm going to go 87 with this beer. Really kind of nice honeyed cracker going on here. No DMS or anything like that to speak of. And that's really what you want first and foremost in really any lager. Clean fermentation. Just clean flavors, and they're certainly getting them here, so kudos to them. 87 for the Cremor Springs. And now, Red Racer IPA. This guy says the best IPA north of the 49th parallel out of Vancouver. This is one you can actually get in the States, but it is called now Red Betty. It used to be called Red Racer, but there were some issues with Bear Republic, who had Racer 5 and Red Rocket. So between Racer 5 and Red Rocket and then Red Racer, they just thought there was too many issues there. So there's a girl with a bike, so they figured to name it Red Betty. But you can get it, as, like I said, as Red Betty in the States here. So let's see. All right. Very similar color to all of these. You know, this orangish burnt caramel note to it. Good amount of head in this little dollop that I poured myself. Really nice floral orange blossom hop character. A little bit of pine, a little bit of wood. Yeah, kind of an earthy note. You can smell some good sweet malt here as well. assertively hopped, lots of late addition. Reminds me a little bit of Bell's Two Hearted with that really nice orange character. The hops and the malts play very well together. The fruits coming off the malt match the fruits coming off of the hops. You know, they're just singing very well together. Finish is clean. There's enough of a mouthfeel, enough residual sugar to kind of give it some body on your mouth. Good amount of bitterness as well. It's not gonna stab you in the face with bitterness, but you don't necessarily want to be stabbed in the face all the time. I don't like to be stabbed in the face all the time anyway. It's just nice, easy drinker. I'd like to have this with some French fries, something salty or greasy, you know, kind of cut the bitterness and then have the bitterness kind of cut the greasiness, where they're just kind of going back and forth with each other. Yeah. Certainly something I would pick up here in the States. Nice beer here. I am a fan. I'm gonna go a 90 for the Red Racer. Really nice IPA. What's this come in at? 6.5%? Yeah. I dig it, man. Dig, as Fitzy would say. Well, thank you so much, Richard, and thank you to all of you. Hey, if you think there's some beers that are underrepresented, let me know. I'll try to acquire them myself. You certainly don't need to send me them. You're welcome to if you want, but you don't need to. Facebook, email, carrier pigeon, Twitter, however you want to do it. You can write handwritten letter, which is, you know, super cool. I love that it was handwritten. Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you. I appreciate it so much, and I only apologize that it took me so long to create this. But some really nice beers coming out of Canada, guys. You know, a lot of people think of Quebec, Montreal, and with Dieu du Ciel and Unibrew and a lot of other little guys, and they're making some awesome stuff over there. A lot of kind of Belgian-inspired beers over there. But that doesn't mean that there aren't great beers everywhere in Canada. You know, we're looking primarily here in the Toronto region. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I always appreciate the ratings and reviews, both for the store and for the podcast. So please, if you do like the show, I very much love to see feedback. Thanks once again, guys. Until next time, I've got some great, I think I'm gonna go with the Bellwoods. I just want to have some kind of garlic. I don't have garlic breath for the rest of the day. I've got some great Canadian beer to drink, and hopefully you do too.